Oh my God, we are live.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that is brilliant. So Usman isn't here yet. That's a bit that's a bit disappointing, you know. But anyways, thank you guys very much for coming to. This is the third discussion that we are having on DTalk. With me here is Namso Upana, which is he's basically Mr. Figma. He's a Figma evangelist, and oh, hold on. Namzo is a Figma evangelist, and he travels all over Africa, spreading the good word about Figma and how Figma helps the design, helps marry design and development, and helps product development teams basically. Um,
Um,
sir,
here is Namso.
oh my God, I have to mute this TV. LG, mute, beautiful. All right. Also here with me is Leke Ojo. Abubakar is it Abdul Kahar? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's Abdulqahar Usman.
Okay, all right. Thanks for correcting me. Um, then okay, I think that's just about us right now. I'm not sure if Usman will be joining us. I hope he joins us somewhere along the line. All right. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about design systems, and we are trying our best to demystify design systems. So let's start with Mr. Figma. What are design systems?
Um, and for me, I've always looked at design systems as um, a, a, a set of guides, but something really comprehensive that that contains resources, components, guidelines, then and maybe um, guides for best practices, that teams use to work, and something that they look up to like a single source of truth. There's no particular definition for a design system, for me, because it plays many different roles. So something like a single source of truth for developers, designers, to use to keep on producing consistent and well uniformed works.
All right, so thank you, Namzu. So to my next question, how many of us? I mean, how many of us actually have active design systems that we are using, or how many of us have created design systems?
Um, I started creating one at my former company, and which is Hotels NG, and at Flutterwave, I'm currently working on one right now, but it's a lot of work.
Of course, it's a
Okay,
lot of
so
work.
I also created one where I was working one health technology company, both in design and in code. Currently, I'm about to start another one with one of the banks in Nigeria here. They're trying to put all their products together under one system. So basically,
Okay, so for me, right now, I just started working on one like 2 weeks ago. Why? Because we now have more than one kid with me right now, and as time goes, it's going to continue increasing. So since I'm no more the only person doing the whole job, uh, we thought it would be like nice that we have a design system where everybody can just dive in and pick something, and everybody will just be cool with it. So like 2 weeks ago, started working on something.
Wow, 2 weeks ago, how's that working out for you?
And it's slow but steady.
What have you learned? Like, no, yeah, like, what have you learned?
Okay, so building components. Why? Because the products we're targeting are mobile first products. So now building components that will make it easier and fast for us to scale is really a factor that has really pushed us to consider having a design system. I mean, for like 5, 6 months, we've been using mouth to sing. We need something that is consistent that everybody can use. But as we we have another person in the whole team right now. So that has really pushed us to really want to dig in and do stuff. So the components like typography and color, making sure we now have like we streamline our colors specific to a specific number, not just have different shades of colors that will just be flying here and there, where that will cause us not to have consistency in things that we do. I've worked on the color aspect and I've worked on typography, and I have worked on the button styles that will be. So I'm just starting with the basics right now before we start going into like brand guides and stuff that we make it use and feel okay with.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so Leke,
Yeah.
yeah, all right. So you said you put together some a design system for what are like the components of a typical design system?
Uh, the first of all, we had 4 products. One for hospitals, one for the patient, one for registering people in rural areas. That's like more of a biometrics solution. You get so we had to like bring all that together in one. We had the visual design part, the motion design part, less of motion design, more of interaction design. For components, majorly our target was mobile tabs and web because the company had some set of tabs that they for us smaller hospitals that didn't have uh, laptops or they didn't have systems. They had to have they had a tab ready that they could just give to them with the application installed on it. So we had to target because normally I don't bother with tablet view, but then we had to target that. So mobile tablets and that was it.
Okay,
The tech.
so basically you had assets and components that were basically targeting tablets and mobile based on you know
Yes, yes.
okay. So now this is the one that bites me. This is what basically just bites me now. With regard to design system. So while I was at InterSwitch, that's Francis Otogbai and Joseph Benson Aruna, great guy. We came together and we put together some kind of design system. We called it Switch Strap for lack of a better name. Okay, and um, so what we just basically did, we we just took Bootstrap. We took Bootstrap. We heavily modded it to what we wanted to our devices, as into what we actually wanted to use it for, maybe for mobile, for web, and all those kinds of. It was heavily modded, but we then discovered that it went beyond just putting together all components and assets. Like, okay, here's your readable button. Here's how your text box is going to be like. Here's how your drop down is going to be like. Like the variety of things, and it was a lot of work. It took months, and after I think that was not the first time when I came across Brad First atomic atomic design. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was where we actually came across that, and then we now started to okay, fine. So we have our atoms now, which are basically our assets, and then we go to elements, from elements to molecules, from molecules to no, is that correct? No, um, atoms to molecules to elements, elements to just keep going beyond that. And at the end of the day, we created like some kind of system whereby the enterprise team or dev team at InterSwitch did not need us to be present. All they just needed was okay, fine. All we just need to do is just download the library because we had a dev back then who helped us to translate most of the designs into installable code that devs could actually use for their projects. So all they just needed to do was just download the library and then just do whatever it is that they wanted to do. We had templates, we had guides, we had everything. It was a very extensive project. However, I think that's like the closest I've seen locally for anything that resembles a design. So now my question is, why is it that it's exceedingly difficult to actually have a design system? So just paint a typical scenario now. You are either in the startup or in an established company. How do you how do you how do you initiate that discussion? How do you initiate that movement? How do you ensure that the company that you're working for, the product that you're working for has a brand, I mean has a design system? Who's answering this one? Namzu.
So
Okay, Leke, go ahead.
let me go. Okay, so for me, the company, although unfortunately now the company is no longer existing, but when I was there, I got in quite late at their product development stage. They had two designers. The first one came, there were issues. He
Hello, Leke. Hello.
I think his network went out for a bit.
Oh,
Okay, it's
oh,
back.
it's back.
oh, okay. So at the company before I got in, I went in to talk to them and interview and all that. I already took like an inventory of their products, and I saw a lot of issues. So what I decided was that okay, this place I'm going to, I'm really interested in working with them. But then I made a presentation of what a design system is, why it is beneficial, and what steps we need to do. So the very first week I got there, that was the first order of business. The CEO was trying to put me into a spot where this is our product, this is what we are trying to do. We need to push out this feature. All the regular rush, 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 everything. So I, I, I had to do a lot of talking to people, talking to the CTO, talking to the product manager, one on one with the CEO. So it got to a point where, okay, we had a compromise. This feature that we are supposed to do, what is the most important one right now from a business point of view? We put that on the side. This also is very important, which is the design system. So my time was divided among this feature we need to push and the design system. So I also recruited someone in the front end team. So we had three front end people. The lead front end person, I spoke to him and I recruited because they've always been having issues with inconsistencies in their design and in implementation. So that the presentation was for the whole tech team. I didn't restrict it to, but the whole discussion and the whole. So it was the condition for my working there. I told them if I don't get to do this, like honestly, there's nothing I could do at that point with all the products that they had and the issues that was going on then. So I was able to start. I was able to work with the front end person. But one thing that was really difficult in the whole process was the production. Sorry, the operations part of it, ensuring that other designers because to me that's the failure of most design systems when the code components other developers cannot use it. Maybe the code conventions are different, the way it is written is different, other people cannot, or the design because basically we all have individual styles in naming our layers, arranging our designs and all that.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. So
And Leslie, I'm muted in case you're talking.
oh shit. Sorry. Okay. All right. All right. So so my key takeaway from that is basically the struggle to upsell the idea behind the design systems to stakeholders, right? So maybe like the struggle the idea to sell the idea to PMs, CEOs, owner of the company, blah blah blah. Um, and then there's also that resistance from developers, especially. Wait, why are developers stubborn? No, this is a real life question, man. Why are developers stubborn? Hmm? Because I know the nightmares that I have to go through every bloody day just to make sure that okay, this product has like near perfect UX. It is awesome. It looks great. It's consistent with the brand. And then some developer will take your design and put black where there should not be black, and then use Roboto when it is clearly stated that it's Proxima Nova you are supposed to use or Oxygen. For God's sakes, come on, man, help me. Now, at the end of the day, now when the bloody app looks like crap, do you know who? Do you know who they go to go and meet? They will not go and meet the project manager. No, they will not go and meet the PM. No, not the product owner. No, 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 no. They will not even go and meet the stupid developer. Do you know who they will go and meet? Me, me, me. Why?
What if it's a bug?
I don't want to know if it's a bug. That's why QAs exist.
What if it's a bug? Like it's not really their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they actually entered the right X codes, for the colors and every other spec, but then it's a bug.
I don't think it's a case of it being a bug. I refuse to believe it's a bug. Honestly, I refuse to believe it's a bug. But um mhm.
I think most times it's about some of these developers that behave that way. They don't really understand that the design system is really not for the designers. Most times, design is covered. The design system is actually for them, so they don't have to keep working all over, sending so many Slack messages. What will happen here? What should I do? Do you get? Do
Yeah.
you at least you can take some decisions on your own, and the decisions are still very much consistent with the look and feel and the experience of the product. You can now have a designer look over it when you are done, but the design system is there so that you have like a repo of resources you can put. So most of them don't. I don't think they know this because if they do, they would not. They would not behave that way.
Okay, so what about okay, how do you initiate having a design system in a startup environment where everyone just wants to go live. Like everyone just wants to push to live. Let's go live. Let's go live. Let's go live. Like it's a very how, and especially when you barely, you are so swamped with work. And I'm speaking from experience. You are so swamped with work, and um, you just design. You don't even have enough time to do like proper testing. So you just design and you just ship straight to the developer, and the developer just does his thing, and it goes straight to QA. QA does not even have design context. Their one is just okay. If I put two into this text box, it has to remain two. That sort of thing. So, what is the best way? Um, how do you introduce the concept of design systems like into a startup environment? Because apparently they are the ones that need it the most.
I'll say you first start off by working on it yourself. Yeah. I understand you can never ever build a design system in isolation and then expect people to come and use it. It never happens. It's like people will always be looking at it like that is your product, right? So that part where you have to include everybody can come later. I'm talking about in a startup environment where the speed to deliver always trumps every other factor that is taken into consideration.
Yeah.
So you first start off by because you have obviously recognized the need for a design system. So maybe they don't have to start building on so working on one, directly. You just have to first of all test with and design audit. Yeah. So you first try to recognize the things that you need. Now you now start with the basics, like the basics, the ones that you normally refer to as tokens. So you identify all the colors that you need. Now you try to make sure developers also recognize these colors. Then maybe in the future you now tell them, oh, this is a color palette that we'll be using. Now you've introduced one small element of the design system to them in the name of color palette. So they start observing that. Now, later on, you can now say, oh, we're having lots of font inconsistencies. So we're having lots of inconsistencies with font sizes. So maybe you can now go about introducing like a typography scale for them. Okay. So what do you currently use right now? Now, what if we try using this instead? Yeah. So you just introduce to them. That way they feel like you are carrying them along, then they also feel like they have ownership in whatever um, you are trying to bring about. Now, if you notice at this step now, you are not going to meet with the CEO and say we need to start working on the design system. You are taking like proactive steps towards building one, right? And then by the time developers, or maybe by the time the project manager, and now realizes, oh, we are shipping out like really uniform products. I mean, this feature is as uniform as the one that was shipped last. They start to see, oh, we actually need this. So whenever you are telling them, um, what if we explore maybe this set of icons, you know, and then maybe start taking off those other ones that we have on the platform. Maybe they're using a bunch of icons, maybe some outline, some fill, some color, like really inconsistent stuff. You can now go about creating one. But the steps has to be taken one after the other. So maybe after you've gotten maybe like the basics, maybe colors and text and every other thing that follows and that forms the basics, you can now go about saying, okay, let's see if we can start taking note of the CSS values of this so that developers now they will now start getting involved in the whole design system process. From there, you can now go about working on the documentations for each of these, how they're being used, when to use each of these specs. But if you want to go about saying, oh, let's work on a design system, they look at it like it to waste a lot of time, which they really don't have time for to start working on something that they don't see this bringing much value to the business side of the company.
Hmm. Um, Usman.
Sorry, my internet was a bit bad, so I had to connect to one entirely.
Oh, okay. So I was asking, yeah, I was just asking him a minute ago,
Yes.
and how do designers ensure adoption of design systems? Either especially in a startup environment or even in an
Okay.
enterprise
So
environment.
I think one of the first. Okay. So I think one of the. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay,
You can
so
hear
I
you.
think one of the first thing you should do as a designer, like as most designers, we have we're supposed to consider empathy. Why? Because you have different people working on different things already. Like you have developers, you have like different people working on different aspects of any product that is currently on ground. So if you're bringing something new, something important as a design system, it looks very important to you, but to them, it looks like you're bringing a whole lot of job to the table. So now, if you're going to, before they can really adopt table, you need to educate and like go through the process of trying to tell them why it is important that you have this, what it is going to, what benefits it's going to bring to the business, to the company, and how your users or how the targeted users are going to actually look at what you're doing. Because one of the key things about design system is, I believe, consistency. It brings consistency to all the products you have as far your business or your the organization you're working with is concerned. If you can have a product where you can have different products where there's that consistency as far components you use in your designs, I think coming from the business angle, it's going to create that confidence in your users, and by that it's going to increase how much engagement your users have with your.
Hello, Usman.
I don't think anybody is going to listen to you. And even if you do that, if you are not part of the organ at the top where the decision is being made, believe you me, sometimes your ideas or your what you're bringing to the table will just die at that level where you have discussion with maybe the PM, and when they get to that high table where they have the discussion, nothing happens for you.
Hmm. All right. So Namzo, you were saying in order for um, in order to actually ensure buying, you have to start off on your own, especially in a startup environment. So,
Yeah.
what are the tools that we need to get started?
Um, so a lot of these design tools already support design systems based on the way they help you design. But um, I would say the hardest part of it is still convincing developers on why they should change certain elements, to a particular element, especially if you're introducing something that is kind of foreign to them or is going to maybe take them like a little extra time to achieve. So you try to do more on explanation, document most of that. Now that's why you might need like a notepad to a tool that supports that. But as for the design itself, you can just start by maybe if you use Figma, right? You can just start by sharing your Figma the Figma link with them, right? Now, whenever they are picking specific elements, right, they can also look at the code for those components. So as they are picking that, you make sure they're also taking notes of that too. Maybe introduce them to your color palette, right? And Figma allows you to create like your own special color palette, especially if you are on a paid plan or free plan, but it allows you to create that so you can share, okay, this is the colors that we use. So they know. I think with colors, yeah, the easiest colors to get wrong are usually those gray colors because sometimes you're working on a text field and then the text field has a border, right? Maybe we're using C4, 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 right? And because C4 looks similar to a different shade of a different color, like a lighter shade of a different color, they might, or you might pick that next time. So before you know it, you have like different shades of gray. So if you introduce a color palette to them, say, okay, this is the colors that we use for text for borders of text fields, Then this is the colors that we use for borders of actual buttons. Then this is how much border radius that we use. Just letting them know most of these things is you introducing it to them. Now, as they're doing that, because um, and with developers, they use CSS values, so they just store that in a particular database. They can easily just be going there and then picking it and just copying and pasting from there as for after you set maybe like a precedent for them to follow. And the other part is other stuff like components like let's say headers or maybe modals, you know. Now those ones now will actually require a design. So you need to maybe um, have that like in a design tool where they can go to compare if it looks like what they implemented or if it looks like the actual design. Now, this one now can actually be helpful to a designer. So, whichever design tool that you are using, you just have to look at um, how the design tool itself supports the design systems because most design systems usually start off like a bunch of random components in different design files. Now, if you now take all of that, maybe put them in a particular design file, you have something that you can be using, maybe like a guideline. Then from there, you can start building your design systems from there.
Mm. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so let me throw this out there. Do we need? Okay, so I've read in like several articles when it comes to like design systems and all that. That more often than not, one of the best steps to actually start a design system is an actual workshop with all the stakeholders or everyone who's going to be involved. So, has any of us actually run such a thing, like a workshop with the stakeholders, as in just to kickstart the process? And if we have like can any of us like share their experience? Leke,
And
hello.
guidelines, and then share with the company. And then maybe they, I think, I remember we went over it together with management, mostly my boss and the head of department. So we're like, okay, from here we can easily just use this to do a bunch of other stuff. And that was the most we did. Now at my current place now, like we didn't actually have like an actual workshop, but one time we are having a meeting and they say, oh, okay, so I'm working on something like a design system from which we can be using to work and also to help us achieve consistency. And everybody really liked the idea. So that's the most that I've done.
Leke,
So for me, what the one that I've not done a workshop to put everybody together, but mostly have a presentation on why we need a design system and also try to force people to see, not force, try to make people suffer the pain of inconsistency by showing them really extreme examples in the product of where inconsistency affects the experience, affects the business goals, and
mm,
that's like majorly what my presentation is all about. It's more of convincing management, convincing team leads, and getting the go ahead to. So for me, starting is usually from typography. First of all, let's get the type scheme. Let's get our colors correctly. Once that is in place, the basic colors, background colors, CTA colors, system level colors, generally action colors, all those basic and typography is done. Then component can be shaped like at intervals. But the major initial kickoff meeting is usually trying to show that yes, this is why we need it, and this is the effect on business and experience of not having that consistent.
all right, Usman.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if I should call it a workshop, but I've had meetings with my dev team and also designers we have on ground, and also like the management. I think if people are included in decision making, they begin to feel this responsibility of want to do things wholeheartedly. For example, now if you have your dev team with you while you're trying to work on a particular component and you ask for their input, I think it will go a long way. As at when you're done building up that component, it will be like very very hard for you to convince them to try it out, because why? Uh, this feeling of okay, I said this at so point, and I'm seeing it now. Like the designers in the team had implemented what we talked about, and they feel that like there's this inclusiveness in decision making when it comes to some components of design. I believe workshop, if you call it workshop, so I really having a session with the stakeholders in like around you will go a very very long way, because apart from trying to convince them, convincing is something really 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 serious, and if you can have them in the team, like they are working with you, right? And there will be this need for okay, after when you guys are done with the component, you have to take it back to them to explain okay, this is what we did, this is what we did that, and it will just be seamless and everything will just flow.
All right. So not leaving you just yet. How do we manage developer relations?
Oh well, that's a tough one.
Look, you said you boss laugh.
Okay, no, okay now. As per what we do here, right?
Uh-huh.
I do front end like very well, so it's not really tough for me right now to actually see that whatever we design, whatever we build, we're able to develop it into something we can that's very very tangible, something that looks very very close to what we have.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, that same thing I talked about, empathy, it is very very important. If you can have like your developers, you like working hand in hand with your developers, and they are not far away from you, you won't really face much issues. Why? Because that first time I told you the project, I was just working in isolation, just doing my thing until I got to where I had to interact with the developer. That was when he was bringing all sort of guidelines and things from Timbuktu, and I had to adjust. So I think if we can like bring like discuss, have little discussions even before you start working on the project, listen to them and give them a tip of what you're working on, to give them a direction as far where you're going to. But after I have done so many components as a developer, then you come as a designer. I want to bring a new system entirely from God knows where. It's a normal human behavior to want to object to any new thing that will look like work to them, So I think if you can have a discussion, like if you call it a brainstorming session or a workshop, just something to create a relationship between you and your developers, I think it will really go a long way in managing them, because it's really really hard, very 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 hard.
All right. Thank you very much, Usman. Namzo, you're working.
Yeah.
You currently work at Flutter Wave. How
Yes,
do you
sir.
how do you manage designer developer relations? So, okay, before you even answer that, how many designers do you have on your team?
5 designers,
Five.
5 really awesome guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! 5 designers. That must be heaven. I swear. That must be
Well, that's
real
one of the
heaven.
reasons why I joined the company.
Ah.
I needed to learn from others, but not just being the only one that knows it all.
So you're like the design lead, yeah?
No. We have a design lead, Ted.
Who's design lead?
Yeah, Ted runs the whole design team.
Ted.
Yeah.
Is this someone we know?
Yeah, you know him. You obviously know him.
Maybe not as Ted. Jesus.
Yeah, maybe not as Ted.
Okay. All right. So how
Yeah.
how how is developer relations actually handled at Flutterwave?
Okay. So we really don't have issues with people implementing what we did in design at Flutterwave because we work um, and we use a product-based approach, meaning each product has a designer, a front end, a back end, a project manager, like the whole stuff. So each product has like its own team. And then me being the designer, I work very closely with everybody on my own team.
Mm,
So as soon as I'm done with the design, I mean the front end guy and the lady, so she sits right beside me. So we talk all the time. And I feel like most time when you are friends with the person that's going to implement your products, so your
mm-hmm,
designs, right? It really helps in the whole communication stuff. You can easily just communicate. Sometimes she gives me like really insightful tips, because like she's been the front end for that product long before I even joined the team. So she knows
mm,
the product a lot more than myself. So whenever like, sometimes she gives me like this really insightful tips, like we don't really do this stuff like this. So that's when I have to go and start maybe running like this with different things,
mm,
just
mm,
to make sure that okay, my decision is not flawed in any way, or okay, I can make adjustment. So um, we have this really great communication. And the other part is maybe in cases where um, the design is not consistent with what we already have in existence. So in such cases, that's when sometimes we try to see where to make adjustment. Okay, which one works better right now? Like this one has been in existence for a while now. Then this one seems new. Okay, which one do you think is going to work a lot better, or people are going to and really go after, or rather, it's going to improve the experience that we currently have. So that's where we now, try to knock it together, or maybe try to come together to make a decision. But oftentimes, we really don't have issues of what was designed versus what and what was implemented, because we all just on the same thing, and then the communication is good. Everybody is working closely together from when we are discussing the ideas to when we start working on it. Like as I'm giving feedback, okay, this is what I'm currently at right now
mm-hmm.
in the design. They can see what I'm doing, and then everybody has access to the Figma board right from when you start a project.
Mm.
So there is that design openness. No, but don't get me wrong. I've also been on teams where I designed something and then maybe what I designed was not what I got, or maybe sometimes I designed something without having like all the right information that I was supposed to get, and
Mm-hmm.
then turns out the developer guy was actually correct. Like there've been cases like that, and in my experience, it always comes down to lack of communication because
Mm.
and the developer taking my designs and then going to implement my designs in isolation away from me, and then maybe coming back after a few weeks with the finished particles are going to make it going to piss off anybody because they've invested time into that. But if you are seeing like at every point in time you can see what they've done, before the finished product. Okay, oh, we've done the header. Okay, looks nothing like my design. Can we adjust this? Now that is still very new, and they can easily make changes to that are not well invested at that particular moment in their implementation. So there's also that the lack of communication is like the primary cause of and not getting what you designed.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Namzo. Leke.
Uh, so for me, where I currently work, we we only work on front end and experience
Be-
design.
Before you continue, where do you work?
Utopia Interactive
Oh,
is
okay.
a distributed company out of Amsterdam.
Mm.
So
Afternoon money.
so
Make it man.
we only do front end, design experience and front end.
Yeah.
We companies we work with, they usually have a back end, or you have an industry veteran that wants to do a product. He has an idea. So those that's like the For us, we have a very strict guideline, design guideline. Luckily for me, the CEO or the lead in the company he was the designer for over 10 years before he went and did product management and he started the company.
Mm.
So it has been really interesting because it's a lot of extra work following the guidelines. Guidelines not just in terms of design, but guidelines in terms of the way you hand off your designs to street naming conventions, street here you can do a design and not have a type scheme. You can like maybe there's a rush and everything. You have with the type scheme in your head. I
Mm.
cannot do that. I have to have it written down. And luckily for us, we have more time because they usually give 6 months.
So in your case, documentation is key.
It is because everybody's all over the world. Hello,
We can hear you. So
hello. Oh,
I was asking, in your case now, documentation is very important, right?
yes, it is very key because you might not time zones and everything. You might not be able to communicate with the developer at the time where they need you. So you have to have things properly. So the what helps the whole process again is mainly at the beginning of the project. The what type of conversations did you have with the developers when you were starting? I mean, carrying them along, asking them questions like what are the tools that they are using to develop the UI. I mean, are using a framework? What are the peculiarities of that particular framework? How do you want the project ended off? Then another thing is respect. Like they must respect you. If they don't, they will
Mm.
literally override every single thing that you do and would not even like fall back to you to ask for additional information. Yeah, right, you're wrong. They will just override most. So I've noticed that type of behavior with a lot of developers. Once they see that it looks like you don't know what you are doing, the whole thing falls apart because they will start taking decisions about the design on their own, and then you have to make things very easy for them. The way assets are handed off, the way um,
Hello, Leke. Leke.
hello, I feel like I was offline a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can
Oh.
just go over the statement you just made now.
So I said respect is very key. It's very important. People must respect you as a designer and also trust.
Man, Nigeria strikes yet again.
Nigeria won. Us
Designers
zero.
zero. Oh no. This is bad.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now, man. The network is just
Oh,
pretty poor.
so sorry about that. So I was saying, apart from respect, you have to make things easy for the people you're handing off the designs. So
Hmm.
you have to make it so they actually see that you've done and you have put like Usman said, empathy. It shows that yes, you have put them into consideration before it's not you're just not doing things willingly all over the place. So you make it easy for them. They have a single place to get all what they require to successfully make the design success good and implement properly.
Okay, so thank you very much, Leke. I think I've got like two more questions before we draw this to a close. Um, wow, no questions from anyone. So we've talked about how we actually start, how to actually start design systems. We've talked about how to upsell the idea. We talked about how to get the work done, directly. Let me put this here. So we talked about how to actually get the work done directly and all that. So wait, let me even see if it's possible for me to share my screen. Yeah. Let me see. I should be able to share my screen. Um, ooh, fancy. All right. So we already have this. So basically, this is basically what this is like a component um, library, so to speak, because I dare not call it a design system. It's just basically a glorified component library, um, and it houses like the bulk of the components that we actually use for a certain product that we are working on. Although that project has not been launched yet, um, it will be launching soon. So it's a variety of things: tables, table cells, headers, different states, and it's a living Figma board. It's always increasing, always growing, always being updated, so to speak. So now the question, two questions actually. The question I wanted to ask, number one, do after the system has been created, what next? Namzo.
Yeah. So to me, this is the hardest part of the design system or of creating any component library or like whatever requires you to be using, to design. Yeah, this is the hardest part, making it grow and then maintaining it because sometimes you make a change in the design file, it means you have to come and update the component library. Now you also need to update your implementation. Yeah. So this is the hardest part. And one thing that is a good thing that you're using Figma because you can quickly design and then maybe like I can see that all components. So you can quickly just push the components and then update the different design files. Like even previous ones you can just review and then update without having to do it one after the other manually. But and for developers, yeah, it means that we constantly let them know so they can now update it in their codes. And um, that's one thing, and making sure that everybody using this knows when changes are being done. Another thing is providing sufficient documentation on each changes that you make. So whenever you add any tiny audit, maybe you've increased the button, the text, the line height of a particular title in a button, and letting everybody that uses this know, oh, we have a new update. So simply update it in your designs. Now you also need to communicate that with those implementing this on the code, so everybody is updated. The other part, um, like it's all very difficult is okay, how do you get people to agree with you that this update has to be made? Yeah, do you just go to your design file or does everybody have access to the design file where one person can just go and then make an update and then tell everybody, oh, I've made an update? Or do you guys agree say, okay, and we need to update this, and then everybody is like, okay, we are okay. So that's why once you done the update, you can now tell them, okay, I've done it, and they will now update. So the communication surrounding the whole design and the whole library that you have, and always making sure that whenever you make updates, it's updated in whichever design file that this component is being used in.
Mm. All right. So, any more takers? Any more? Usman,
Uh,
Leke?
hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, the one thing, it might be right, it might be wrong, but for me, it is not because of the design system only.
Oh man, Nigeria strikes again. Hello. Oh man.
Yes.
Leke.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I said, for me, it is not a design system unless there's a code part of it. Uh,
I was about to
I
segue
mean,
into
the
that, but
designs
continue.
can be
Yeah.
straight into what?
So I was about to segue into that with my next question, but continue.
Oh, okay. So, there must be a code component. Then, when you are done with the design system, you are done with the design system when you have the design part and you have the code part. That is, for me, that's when you are done. In the process, you must have decided with your developers and everyone that is involved in project how you would push new updates from the design part to the code part. And if there's a change in the code part, how it would also reflect in the design part so that each side is updated at every point in time. I'm still looking for that perfect tool that would that would push changes from the design system on XD or Figma, and it
Hmm.
will reflect in the code library somewhere. Or the I, I'm not sure if there's any tool like that can seamlessly. But then you have to talk to your developers
So,
basically.
funny
As
enough,
the
I was reading up an article sometime back. Are you familiar with haiku?
no.
With what?
Haiku,
What
Haiku.
HAIKU. Yes, I could.
Yeah, the Haiku app. So I think it's possible for you to integrate, if you can integrate Haiku with storybooks and then with, I don't know whether we React or Vue or with your code repository. So whatever changes you make, probably on Figma, for example, you can just push it through that pipeline from Figma to Haiku down to storybooks, and then your code component is actually updated. And I don't know, when I saw that, I was positively gingered. I was
Won't it
positively,
be buggy?
eh?
Won't it be buggy?
I I can't remember. Let me see if I can pull up the website.
the The closest one I've seen so far is this plugin. I've forgotten the name. There's a plugin on XD where your components, your colors, or your types style, you can push it to the app. There's
Yeah.
an app, there's a plugin you download, then you can push it. But then it is not a production ready. It is production ready, but it's not like straight into your code. It just gives you like a documentation website online
Mm.
where you can inspect all the components has their inspect the CSS code, the HTML code there.
Is that not
So
Zeppelin?
no, not Zeppelin.
Oh, okay.
Let me let me try and pull it. It's a new.
Ooh, fancy. All right, so I mean, So let me quickly share my screen. So we can just take a look at haiku I'm talking about. So this is basically haiku. Can we see it?
We can't see your screen.
Nonsense.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Can we see it?
Yes. Very cool.
Check out our new open source design system framework. Wow. And it's really gorgeous. Like it has Sketch, Figma, Illustrator, and SVG support. But it's clearly not for free because it used to be for free prior. So I don't know when this one started.
They upgraded everybody to premium, and then
Hmm?
maybe the free plan is over.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I just dropped the link in the chat. Zero height. Can
Okay.
you open it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me see it.
So it literally gives you like a documentation, design system documentation website without you having to
Zero what?
do zero height.
Can you spell it, please?
I it's in the chat.
Uh,
Zerohijht.
Zero. Okay, I'll check it out. Bees. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, interesting. This looks like something. Okay, so let me kill out the sharing.
Double screen.
Zero height. Oh, there it is. Huh? Oh, God. Who still actively uses Medium for anything? Hmm?
I read articles sometimes from there.
Eh?
And some articles are still good now. There, so to consign us.
An
Go there and
article,
share it 3 times a day.
an article that is behind it, that is not behind the paywall. Because I'm tired. Honestly, I am really tired. I was kind of like hoping that maybe. Hey, okay. I was kind of hoping that maybe the platform will get better, but everyone now wants to write articles that are behind paywalls now, and everyone wants to pay for some reason, and I don't get it anymore. Zero High looks nice.
Because
It does. It does. I'll look at this some more. Okay, so let me just quickly sharing now so that we can get back and let's just quickly wrap up and everybody goes. Um, all right, so we're back. Um, so thank you very much, everyone, for participating and taking out time. I really, really appreciate. Um, it's been an honor to like meet you guys, even though we haven't met physically, except for you, Namzo. Except for you, Namzo, man. So it's really great having you guys. So last question, last final question. We are all who's this? So I mean, clearly we are all designers and all that. So what next? Like let's assume that you after designing, what next? I mean, we're clearly not going to design products for the rest of our lives now. What next?
So I've always considered myself a designer, right? Because I didn't just start in digital designs. I was already designing a bunch of other stuff. And the way I've always seen design to me is it's like problem solving. Yeah. So whether I'm maybe designing brochures, or solving problems for companies, that's the way I was looking at it. So whatever I was designing, for them, and like I remember saying this like some time ago, and I still want to start doing it, but I really want to start designing physical products. So it's still design, but then like solving like physical problems, not web alone.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So you want to be like become like all them Stagmeister and the rest.
Like furniture design, it's always very intriguing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see really nice furniture and you're trying to imagine what was the person thinking, as they were carving this out, So that, but the only problem is that, with stuff like that, like with a physical product design requires space and a bunch of tools which are kind of expensive. So yeah, but to make this money, to make this money.
All right. What about you, Leke?
Uh, okay, me personally, I would like to stretch out the
Wow. Nigeria strikes again. 3-0.
basically that is what I enjoy. Uh,
Please, can you come again?
Local man is in a place of network, low network coverage.
Like, see this thing, like you never know whenever you need it the most. That's when nature decides to show itself.
God. Really, man. God. Anyways, man, he's off. Usman.
Yes. Oh, well, for me, based on the local man that I am now, so it's just going to be about solving problems, and solving problems. Okay, I watch a lot of DIY videos on
Yeah.
how to really, like what Namso said, furniture, right? I watch a lot of DIY videos on how to make furniture and how to, like, the whole thinking process, doing stuff and bringing out something very, very nice. So I'm thinking along that direction because, okay, like 3 months ago, thereabout, I went to one of these guys doing furniture. I was like, dude, what would it take me to learn this thing? Because like, he was looking at me, okay, you want to learn? How you want to do it? So just keep solving problems. It mustn't be digital problems. Problems are everywhere. So solving problems is something that is really, really nice. If everything turns out good at the end. So that's what that is what I'm looking up, to do.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for your time. I really
Hey,
appreciate
Leslie, you are
this.
expecting your own.
Me?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Hey.
yeah,
What does Leslie want to do when? The truth is, I won't lie. I'm already bored. Um,
mm,
I'm tired of designing products. You know, I just I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out, to be honest. I haven't quite figured it out because I'm looking at like a variety of things. I want to leave. I want to leave product designing and like go into something else. But what is that something else? I haven't really settled on it. I want to go back to my first love, which is actually motion design, like motion graphics and all that. Um, motion graphics, VFX. The reason why I can't even go to that is because well, we don't quite have an industry for that that is strong enough. And to do that, you need like some certain really to do that effectively. You need like some very very strong machinery. You get and
Powerful machines.
and local man, what they are paying local man these days, man. Because you also have to consider somebody's economy. Because it's clearly not my economy. I did not subscribe to this. I,
Well, with,
I
if
didn't.
you get the iMac and the iMac Pro, you are set. You're okay.
And
The
I'm
new
like, bro,
iMac Pro is
yeah. How much is that?
with the stand.
How much is that? You
Six
get
thousand
eh?
dollars.
How much? How much? 8,000.
Thousand
$8,000 iMac Pro for a year.
six
Wow.
six
Maybe,
thousand
maybe
dollars. The basic model.
Basic model that probably has like
Basic
a
model.
i5 processor,
Exactly.
maybe like 8 gig RAM. You might as well just go and buy Windows and know that it's
Plus,
Windows you are buying.
if you spend like $10,000.
maybe just build a custom machine and plug in and just move on.
Omo, is it not to do? Is it not to? Is it not if you know what you are doing? I could actually do that too. I used to do. I used to. Uh-uh. I
I
used to.
think it is actually better to build a custom machine than
And going
buy
for something
like
like an iMac Pro,
the
that's a
iPhone.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Don't do Mac for for VFX and all.
Yeah. Oh, look at your back.
Yes, sir.
I just suddenly. No, it's the truth because I was just looking at you guys and like, no, nothing was Jesus. All right, um, so I was thinking of going back to VFX and all that. If I can't go back to VFX, maybe I don't know what next would I want to do. Product management, project management, that sort of thing. And even after that, even if I go to product or management, I know that after a while I'll get bored. So what next? To be honest, I don't know.
So I think
Maybe go with family.
I
we
don't know. Of
were
course, wait. No, growing a family is definitely in the works and all that. Now, by God's grace, I'm looking at getting married next year. I'm tired of this single life. I want to have
so I
kids.
think we were talking about it before the live stream started.
Yeah.
About developing tools. Senior men like you, please, let's maybe partner with some developers that you trust to develop tools that you feel would. It would be bad if we have a tool that can deploy straight to production from our design to maybe a plugin or something. I know Namso already
Mm.
started something in that direction. I feel like more designers should get in on that. Even people like Usman that are half designer, half developer.
No, please. Local man is full. Both sides. Thank you very much.
So,
I know
like in a unique spot to actually see both sides, the handoff process is still like very, very messy, and there are a lot of things to look at for in that.
A lot of things to do.
Yeah.
So, Leke, I agree with you, Leke. Yeah. And to be honest, there are a variety of opportunities that actually exist that um, for tools to be created that actually help designers, or maybe like digital designers, or product designers, maybe regular graphic designers. There are a variety of opportunities for those kind of things. I would personally like
To
to.
yourself.
I would. I would personally like to. What's it called? To be able to design maybe in Figma and then hit the button and then it just shows me either production code or it just kicks up Xcode or Android Studio and it has everything already preset. Although there is a tool similar to that, I think it's called Simply. I think it's called Simply. So it exists as a plugin for Sketch and XD. I don't know if it exists for. I don't think it exists for Figma just yet. But you can just design and then you just hit the button and then you create an account with simply hit the button and it just takes open you upload to a cloud server, download an Xcode project and then you open it and all your designs are like there and properly translated and all that. Maybe not too properly translated, but at least you have like the basic idea and you can get started. I would like a tool like that, but those tools require competent devs. We don't have competent devs.
We do.
We can always
Look,
build
see,
one.
here's the thing. At least, I will not lie. I work with like very exceptionally intelligent people, very competent devs that will be willing to. I mean, especially if you're in fintech, you have to be very, very competent. You have to know your onions. You have to be very, very smart and brainy and all that.
Onions. Yeah.
But okay, so some weeks back, I was showing like a bunch of devs that I was showing them a particular website, and all those really, really mad award websites now that like mad animation, mad transitions, everything, and you kind of
And I call them over engineered websites.
I don't care. I don't care. Look, see, over-engineered websites are actually quite good for your brand experience. It is the honest truth. It is the honest truth. It's what said. If an over-engineered website will result to my website being a point of reference every time, it does my brand. It's like free publicity for my brand. That's the honest truth. So that's why people actually commit
Have you tried opening most of them on mobile? Like they
a
really
good
don't
number.
optimize for mobile.
A good number of them are actually quite optimized for mobile. See, these guys are not lazy, man. They have time.
As in
They have
ample
like
of time.
they have mad
Enough.
time. They have time for research. They have time
That's
for
time benders.
they have time for research. They have time for like a variety of things, and they have the chance to like explore and do like mad stuff. There was this one that is that I wish I still have the URL, but I'll probably post it later on. It's like a VR. The site doubles as a VR project, literally. It's basically a virtual reality website, so to speak, and it's very, very awesome. But when I say content developers, it's most of them are just interested in writing code, enterprise code, business logic, all those kind of things. That's all they are just interested in writing. In order for you to actually see a front end engineer, for example, now that is willing to commit efforts and resources to delivering the best experience. If you walk up to a developer now, for example, now you tell him that, see, okay, so this is how the transition is going to happen. It's going to be happening from here to here. Move this thing from here to here. The first thing he will tell you is no.
No.
You don't even say no. You say no. You're all bow. It's too much. It's too much effort. It's too much work.
Why do I feel why do I feel you're talking to somebody?
I'm not talking to someone. I'm talking to many people. There are many, and I know that they will watch this thing. I'm saying it so that they will hear it from me. See, so that it will not be like, see where I walk. I say it in my chest. This is my tool. I'm saying it again with my chest. I'm petty like that. I'm saying it with my chest. I'm listening. I'm saying it, with my full chest. Most front end devs don't help us at all. And the answer to that situation is not, designers learning how to code. Jesus Christ, let designers design and let coders code.
Yeah.
There has to be that harmony. But most developers, they already place themselves, above above the hierarchy. So when you're telling them that, look, this is what I want for the best experience for my product or for my website or for my app, regardless of whatever it is that I'm doing, they will tell you no. And they will come up with like where does brick excuses.
Unless your network is not permitting you.
I think we've all had our own fair share of network doing its thing.
Yeah.
Not me.
Look at this man.
No blame him. He just what's it called? He just
I just
resubscribed.
subscribed.
He just resubscribed now. Now we can. You will not now hear what now because you subscribed. Okay, we've heard now. You subscribed. Are you happy? All right. Thank you guys so very much. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure to actually host you guys all here. I'm looking forward to a time where we will all meet and have drinks and trade ideas and talk about where the designer stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Namso, when I see the next Figma this day, I need a new Figma shirt. I'm just saying.
So we are working on something before the end of the year.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so Namso, when is it possible that like the much buzz is happening down south, right?
Yeah.
So how possible it is for like that buzz to gradually be picking itself upwards? Because it is really, really important. Really, really important. Because right here it feels like you are in an island. Yeah, I know we have designers who are around, but everybody is just like in seclusion. So if there could be something that could actually, like a platform where we get to come and have discussions, have meetups based on design. Okay, in January or February, I believe, January, I started something. It's called Contrast. It's a platform where I get to meet aspiring designers, people who have interest in going into design to discuss and even, tell them the do's and don'ts and, just show them the path and allow them choose where they want to go to. But at the same time, it feels like you're the only one just trying to do stuff. Because right now, if it is possible that we have these programs really coming up here, it will really, really go a long way. Really, really go a long way. Like collaboration is the best thing right now. And when you're working alone, it feels like the whole world is against you because you have to defend what you have alone. You have to tell people the reasons why you do stuff, and you need to be very, very convincing. And if you're not, your work is just going to be set aside and just, trash can will just be open. Default, you just come, you toss it and ciao, inside the trash can. So if it's possible that I will have good, like sessions like this and physical sessions, physical meetups where we get to move things up here, I will be really, really willing to, put my, dive in, swim into it, ciao, and just get everything working.
Okay. I'll call you this evening and then we'll discuss more on that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. It's really nice speaking with you guys. Okay, let's leave.
Thank you so much.
Look at man.
All right.
Good night. So it's been great hosting you guys. So see everyone to everyone watching. If you have any questions, you can forward them directly to me, or you can tweet at them at on Twitter or message them on Instagram if you follow each of them. I will do my best to drop all their handles.
Okay, yes, before we go, just one thing.
Yes.
Everybody talked about where they work, except for I myself, right?
Yes.
So I work at Parity. Parity is a new startup here in Niger State. What we're looking at is like a startup for startups and businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like we tend to see how collaboration could actually help startups up to that level where they build their MVP and push it to the market. Yeah. And also help businesses leverage on technology to see how they can, work faster and scale and, just do good stuff. So I am the lead designer here, and I hope to have more and more people come to work with me. Presently, I have a very, very good designer who is sitting by my side, Abdullah.
Hey, let him come over.
Abdullah. So, guys,
what's up,
this is Abdullah. He's presently an intern with us, but he has a lot of balls. So we'll be okay. Hopefully, I'll see if it's possible that we'll bring him into see how we can give you share what we do here with all of you guys. So we have 3 more young designers who are interning with us, and it's been a wonderful experience so far. Say hi.
All right. So thank you
So
guys so
thank you
much.
guys for having me and for having us.
All right.
All right. So
Thank you so much.
to everyone who's watching, thank you
All
guys
right.
for your time. Thank you guys for listening and for streaming with us. The next wow, fancy. So the next DTalk will most likely be on usually on the last Saturday of the month, and that would be on the 28th of September this month. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I was supposed to do it on 27th. That's last week Saturday. No, was it 27th? No, it was supposed to be on
29th
29th. Was it 29th?
or 30th, maybe.
31st actually. No, yeah, it was supposed to be 31st. It was supposed to be on the 31st, but it was my mom's birthday. Yay, that kind of thing. So I had to push it by 1 week. But the next one definitely going to be a blast. Blast. We'll be talking a lot more about business or design, and inviting other we'll be inviting designers who dropped the craft and decided to focus more on business. So thank you guys so much, and we'll be seeing you end of the month. Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm talking to FCNB customer care.
Oh, sorry, no, you're not. No, you're not. This number is a private number. So they listed this number on their app by mistake.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. So what you can
Sorry.
what you can do is just visit their website and to get the correct customer service numbers. All right. Mm-mm. CC. Tell me CC. Uh, oh yeah. Jesus Christ. Uh, So okay, so this is how the transition is going to happen. It's going to be happening from here to here, move this thing from here to here. The first thing he will tell you is no.
No.
You won't even say no. You say no. You roll. You bow. It's too much. It's too much effort. It's too much work.
Why do you have to, why do you feel you're talking to somebody?
I'm not talking to someone. I'm talking to many people. There are many, and I know that they will watch this thing. I'm saying it so that they will hear it from me. See. so that it's not be like, see where I walk. I say it in my chest. This is my tool. I say it again with my chest. I'm
So
perfect at
far.
that. I'm saying it with my chest. I'm listening. I've seen it, with my full chest. Most front end devs don't help us at all. And the answer to that situation is not, designers learning how to code. Jesus Christ, let